Welcome, beloveds. I'm going to give a moment before I jump into the fullness of this subject. I am Astarius Miraculii, loving you with the passion of heaven. And the subject for today is decoding and milking the miracle of 2022. Like I didn't have all my ducks in a row. Looks like I got maybe more light on my face than I need. Let's just see. We do it a little bit differently. Let's see how that. I believe that's probably a little bit better. Uh, anyway, still getting all these technical ducks in a row, but that's all right because we're flying very high in spirit. Going to be a very powerful transmission today. This decoding and milking the miracle of 2022. There's a lot of energies that are available through it. And so before I get into the full subject matter, I'm going to just offer some invocations. On mountain heights of heaven's land, I now invoke the master plan. Because it's my divine birthright, I'm giving back my cosmic side. At dawn of life, I was so high with the angels, I did fly. I now ascend a higher plane, the ancient times now come again. 'Tis in the name of holy peace that all my blessings now increase. My great abundance now comply with power of my single eye. I bless the darkness, make it right, reverse the tide and free the light. God, Goddess, make my power ever pure, else let the power not endure. I love and lift my fellow man and woman and understand the master plan. For me, there's simply nothing new except that which I always knew. First I spin a speed of light within, without come now my sight. Mighty Spirit, Elohim, make truth of this my cosmic dream. Oh yes, my eye is really single with light, my body does now tingle. Oh, my soul is so brand new, I now know all that I once knew. Bridge across the seas of time, yield passage to this soul of mine. Oh, let me taste the ecstasy I knew before the human misery. A mighty essence, then I am. I wrote the pages of the master plan. Dancing on a sea of being, light and love, we're all decreeing. Calling to my fallen self, time to regain heaven's wealth. Cross the bridge of what's to be, where from your nightmare we are free. I hear the angels calling me, saying, wake up, God, you're really free. Wipe the nightmare from your eyes, spread your wings and watch death die. Wipe the nightmare from your eyes, spread your wings and watch fear die. Bridge across the seas of time, shackles of my soul unbind. Awake now from illusions dread, I'm safe at home in heaven's bed. Let there be God, capstone of my soul, unfailing spirit, fulfill my goals. Let there be power in the word of my mouth, I conquer with faith, dissolve fear and doubt. Let there be wisdom as the fuel of my knowledge, let it be ablaze within my heart. I must be consistent in the game of life, that wisdom may finish what knowledge did start. Let there be love in the work of my hand. My life is a blessing unto God and man and woman. Let there be peace as the wings of my mind, O sun of serenity around me. Shine. Let there be joy of truth bubbling in my soul. O dissolver of sadness, come make me whole. Let there be abundance raining down upon me, my life be enriched with prosperity. My life be enriched with prosperity. And there is the fulfillment of let there be, for life will always give me but as far as I can see. Let there be, let there be, let there be, and there is, and there was, and there ever shall be. My being knows no limit. I am God, goddess within. Horizon of this moment with eternity I blend. Every space is here. Every time is now. Every one is me. Full awakening of eternal remembrance. Blessing now I be. Immortal hands, immortal body, immortal energy, immortal healing. I as God and God is due. All that creator source will ever do. A man, a woman, a God, a goddess, I be absolute reality, so it is, and blessed be. Tube of light, whole and real, tube of light, now congeal around my soul, protection, seal. Protect my body, protect my mind, let all that I receive be none other than divine. Let there be the transmutation of all dark vibrations. Tube of light, whole and real, tube of light, now congeal around my soul, protection, seal. Protect my body, protect my mind, let all that I receive be none other than divine. Thank you, God, for keeping me. Thank you, God, for direction. All is well through the spirit of protection. Violet fire, raise and raise, violet fire, heal my ways. Around my being, dance and blaze. Consume my air, expand my light, reveal my God, it is my right. Thank God for my consummation in the flame of transmutation. All is well. All is well. Thanks for cosmic graduation. All is well. All is well. Thanks for cosmic graduation. And so today's subject, decoding and milking the miracle of 2022. 2022 is the vibration of a miracle. There's a lot of energies available to us in this vibration of 2022. First of all, the 22 is a master number. 22 represents the human journey from stepping down from the celestial heights into this domain of incarnation and taking this human journey until such time that we reascend back into that great exaltation from which we have come. When we crack the code of the tarot, which is in the major arcana, 22 cards, and we take 4 of those cards from the 22 to crack the code. The Fool, which is key 0, that takes the journey. The Fool steps down off of the cliff down into manifestation. First step in the journey is the Magician. Midpoint in the journey is justice. In our culture, we spell it Justice, but we need to decode that because Justice is just ice. And the true justice is Justis, just is. Final step in the journey is the world. In some decks, they call it the universe. When we take those 4 cards and turn them into a sentence, we get the Fool, Magician, just is the world. And so in the frequency of 2022, we have access to tapping into the Magi. Magi, keyword in imagination. To wield the forces of the magician, we must wield the force of imagination. Imagination wherein we see what is needed, that our prayer will be heeded. We see it as though we've already succeeded. Imagination is the first stage of reality. It is not a fanciful thing of make-believe. It is the truth in its first step into reality. Because the truth, first and foremost, is formless. And so we call forth this resonance of the Magi, the magician within us, as we are that fool, and fool does not mean fool in the literal sense. You know, it is coyote, it is hyoka, it is the trickster. The energy of the fool is where we are sometimes tricked into enlightenment as we come into physicality and we taste of forgetfulness. And by virtue of the veil dropping and our forgetting, we ultimately become tricked into enlightenment. And we come back into the eternal remembrance of who we really are. This is the frequency that is available in the year 2022. The planet Jupiter is in Pisces as we are here in 2022. It had just entered into Pisces as the year transitioned from 2021 to 2022. Jupiter is co-ruler of Pisces. Jupiter represents expansion. Pisces is benevolence. It is formlessness. It is compassion. It is insight. It is intuition. It is that which has great mastery over imagination. And so with Jupiter in Pisces for this year, or the entry into this year of 2022, we get to come into a greater expansiveness of being. We expand. This Jupiter energy is our capacity to come into the resonance of compassion. The highest wisdom of Jupiter is about allowing sacrifice to morph into compassion. We'll have the opportunity to see more clearly when we are engaging in sacrifice. Sacrifice is win-lose. When we sacrifice, they win, we lose. And one of the ways in which we know that we're out of integrity when we sacrifice is that usually in sacrificing, there's a certain measure of inner resentment that often follows the sacrificing. And many times the sacrificing happens from an empathic place. Sometimes we sacrifice before we even think about what we are sacrificing. That's why it's good for the empath to always say when someone's asking you for something, time, money, or whatever, to always say, gonna meditate on it, gonna sleep on it, and I'll get back with you. You put that buffer of time and space between you and the one that's asking you for something. And you make your decision out of proximity with them. Because sometimes when you make your decision while yet in proximity with them, you are so empathically overshadowed by their energy, confusing their energy to be your energy, and feeling then like you have to comply with what it is that they're asking you for. In the moment of the sacrifice, it feels like the right thing. And then down the road, when you look back at it, sometimes you say, oh my God, why did I say yes to that? And so, with this frequency of Jupiter in Pisces, the highest resonance of it, of course, there is the availability of the shadow energies too. The shadows are always available, and we have power of choice. So, it is a question, beloved, of what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose compassion, or are you going to choose sacrifice? Compassion is the wisdom of win-win. And compassion will never let you hurt yourself while giving to another, because the compassion operates with a level of wisdom that teaches you how to give equally unto yourself while giving unto all others. And so by the deliberate intention together, beloveds, we say that we're going to operate from the resonance of compassion rather than the resonance of sacrifice. Compassion is also the wisdom to see the best in others. We want to draw forth and milk the miracle of the exalted frequencies of Jupiter and look for the best within every being. To even look for the best in the most horribly behaving individuals, making that exalted deposit within their soul bank that will accumulate interest until they evolve into the readiness to withdraw that which we put there in deposit for them. In compassion, we see the redemption of every being. In compassion, we see the redemption even of government. We see governmental officials elevating into a more exalted consciousness where they're really having the back of the people, the back of the populace. In compassion, we see and deliberately intend a world that is a reflection of a peopleocracy, where the consciousness of the collective is so exalted that we just take benevolent care of each other. And we don't have to be coerced into supporting one another. This Jupiter energy, Jupiter in Pisces, is a softening of vibration. We will see some lifting of some of the world restrictions, COVID restrictions, and appropriately so, because there's a lot of forces behind some of that that are not coming from a benevolent place. And we know that. We don't need to go deep into that. We see that. When we look at this frequency, also, we're talking about the new moon. Today is a new moon. So this new moon is a very powerful new moon that is helping to facilitate this decoding and milking the miracle of 2022. This new moon happened at 12 degrees of Aquarius. And while conjuncting the planet Saturn. So there's a very powerful grounding force associated with this new moon that is tied into new beginnings relative to the unfolding of our world. we have the capacity to engage in new beginnings that have a very practical foundation. Saturn is practicality. Saturn is also authority. We have the opportunity to call forth the essence of authority from within the inner recesses of our own being, to walk in the resonance of our own sovereignty, to fully and completely own the gift of free will that God has given us, and the right that we have to be all of who we are without the negative influence and controlling influence of others outside of ourselves. The key being, as long as in the expression of our sovereignty, we're not hurting another being, but just being the resonance of who we know ourselves to truly be. This new moon frequency being conjunct Saturn gives us the capacity to tap into the sovereignty of that resonance of authority that exists within our own being. And we become more keenly aware of what other beings of authority are about. This new moon is activating that Saturn-Uranus square, which was so strongly prevalent in the year of 2021. They're still in proximity of each other, with Saturn being 15 degrees, right now at this particular time, Saturn is 15 degrees of Aquarius, and Uranus is 10 degrees, of Taurus, almost 11. And so this new moon takes place at the midpoint, very, very close to the exact midpoint of the Saturn-Uranus square. So there's the reactivation of that square. And so we're looking at this battle between authority, Saturn, and freedom, Uranus. Authority, Saturn, and the tribal community, Uranus. Uranus has rulership over the community. In this particular case, we're talking about the community of the world. With this new moon being in Aquarius, which is the sign that is naturally ruled by Uranus, the frequency of this new moon is offering more of its energy onto Uranus, which is that vibration of freedom, that vibration of the golden age, the Aquarian age, the golden age, the new age is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is also higher consciousness. And so as we move forward in this energy of the new moon, we have access to exalted consciousness. Uranus is the higher mind, as Mercury is a representation of the everyday mind. Now, Mercury right now, Mercury has been retrograde since about the 13th of January, and it's coming near to direct. Right now, it is what is called stationary direct. So planet Mercury has slowed down in its movements, and in a couple of days, it'll be full direct motion. And as this Mercury energy is stationary direct, it's at right now about 25 degrees of Capricorn. And the planet Pluto is 26 degrees of Capricorn. So Mercury is carrying this frequency of Pluto. Pluto is death, regeneration, transformation, alchemy, inheritance, as well as universal resources. Pluto in its highest resonance is also that supreme value that gives birth to all valuables. Sometimes in the human experience, we become so enamored and desirous of the valuables, the things, the manifestations, that we forget about the formless value that gives birth to all manifestations. This Plutonian energy conjunct Mercury, as Mercury is stationary direct, gives us the opportunity to come into a more exalted resonance of connection with the supreme value of our being. The supreme value of our being is that which gives birth to all valuables throughout eternity. And so we want to align, beloved, that we have this capacity to align with the supreme value that we are, and to then wield the force of our imagination, where we are being the magi, operative word in imagination, being the magician that wields the forces of the fire, air, water, and earth, wields the forces of the elements to take command of our life unfolding. 2022 is powerful resonance. It's a master number frequency. And it represents the frequency of ascension. So there is woven within the year of 2022 the Ascension code, and even the sign Aquarius, wherein the moon is new. That's Ascension frequency. Uranus, Ascension frequency. And at the point of the entry into this year of 2022, the sun was at 10 degrees of Capricorn, making a harmonious exchange of energy with Uranus at 10 degrees of Taurus. Capricorn, Earth, Taurus, Earth, Earth friendly with Earth. Capricorn, cardinal Earth, Taurus, fixed Earth. Sun, central core of God identity. Wherever the sun is at for you, beloved, is a reflection of your godhood. In this particular case, sun in Capricorn at 10 degrees, reflection of the godhood of the world collective, in harmonious relationship with Uranus in Taurus, meaning that our godhood sun is ready to ride the wings of the exemplification of freedom. Uranus is a freedom song. And as we cross the threshold from 2021 into 2022, Mars and the moon were in a very close conjunction in the sign of Sagittarius. Mars 13 degrees of Sagittarius and moon 15 degrees of Sagittarius. Yeah, and I speak of the degrees to simply say that they are in very close proximity. There is 30 degrees for each sign. And so whenever planets are relating to each other and they have a close orb of influence, for example, with Mars at 13 degrees of Sagittarius and Moon at 15 degrees of Sagittarius, they're just 2 degrees apart. And the orb of influence that I use is 8 degrees. Many astrologers use 10 degrees. Anything within 10 degrees of proximity are having a relationship. And I like to use 8 degrees of proximity. And so when it gets down to just 2 degrees apart, we're talking about something that is really very, very close proximity. Mars is desire. Moon is emotionality. Mars is decisiveness. And so in the year of 2022, we're meant to come into a exalted decisiveness about who we are as emotional beings, owning our feelings to a greater extent. Feelings are very powerful. The lifespan of a thought is determined by the measure of feeling that thought is sent forth with. If a thought is sent forth with a tremendous amount of emotional energy, then that thought has a longer lifespan, has a more expanded auric field. And when a thought has an expanded auric field, it is therefore more magnetic to attract other thoughts of a like nature, formulating a thought tribe that then becomes so accelerated in vibration until those thoughts morph into manifestation and the crystallization of the deliberate intention that sent that thought forward. But if a thought does not have a great measure of emotional thrust, it's quite powerless. And so we want to allow our decisiveness, Mars, to come into a greater wielding of our feeling nature, Moon. Our feelings are experiential. Our feelings are subjective as a representation of that which is inside of us. Thoughts are objective, a representation of that which is out there. That which is out there is the product of what is first and foremost in here. Feelings are the product of all outward manifestations. So in this year of 2022, that Mars Moon conjunction in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is also a freedom song. So we have Uranus as a freedom song. We have Sagittarius as a freedom song, and Jupiter in Pisces, a freedom song. 2022 is a year wherein we can collectively achieve a greater measure of freedom and liberation, because there's been a lot of dark forces messing with our freedoms and civil liberties and spiritual liberties and all of that. And so we're calling forth this realignment with freedom. In fact, I'm going to offer some tones now. These tones are specifically for the activation of the freedom frequency. Not just your freedom and my freedom, and not just the freedom of all of those of us who live within this world, but all of the freedom that is, was, or ever will be, all of the freedom of the ascended host, of the angelic host, of galactic societies, of ascended masters. These tones, a reflection of freedom, align with me in the deliberate intention for the freedom of our individual being, the freedom of our world, the freedom of our universe. We offer these tones for the activation of the freedom of the inner divinity, your inner godhood, to come into resonance with freedom and liberation, and to be a mirrored reflection for the activation of the godhood within every other being, and allowing the godhood of every other being to activate that freedom frequency within you, within me, within us. On mountain heights of heaven's land, we now invoke the master plan. Causes our divine birthright, we're giving back our cosmic sight. Head on of life, we were so high, and with the angels we did fly. We now ascend a higher plane. Ancient times come again. Is in the name of holy peace that all our blessings now increase. Our great abundance now comply with power of our single eye. And we bless the darkness, make it right, reverse the tide and free the light. God, make our power ever pure, else let the power not endure. We love and lift our fellow man and understand the master plan. For us there's simply nothing new except that which we always knew. Bridge across the seas of time, yield passage to this soul of thine. Let us taste the ecstasy we knew before human misery. A mighty essence then are we. We wrote the pages of eternity, dancing on a sea of being, light and love we're all decreeing. Calling to our fallen self, time to regain heaven's wealth. Cross the bridge of what's to be, where from your nightmare we are free. I hear the angels calling us, saying, wake up, God, you're really free. I hear the angels calling us, saying, wake up, goddess, you're really free. Wipe the nightmare from your eye, spread your wings and watch death die. Wipe the nightmare from your eye, spread your wings and watch fear die. There's only one life in which we all share, and only one love through which we all care. Only one being in all that we're seeing, a slumbering giant is what we are freeing. When one is at peace, what a mighty release of breath unto life that all may increase. Anyone's joy is everyone's right. The wise one's wisdom is the blind one's sight. Yes, there's only me and all that I see. The joining of life is what makes me free. And those who achieve an abundance receive is that part of me in whom I believe. When I am a winner, I honor all life. When I am a loser, all life shares my strife. Before life on this earth and my physical birth, I danced with the angels and knew my true worth. Yet all that I was, I really still am. The God out of heaven, an innocent lamb. If I want to know who I truly be, seek all that there is and I will find me. If you want to know who you truly be, seek all that there is and you will find thee. That which is necessary. That which is necessary shall be. There's only one life in which we all share, and only one love through which we all care. That which is necessary, that which is necessary shall be. There is no escape from the fulfillment of necessity. To make a vain attempt will find one in the spider web of cyclicity. Around and around a constant revolution, not learning the lesson or receiving the message that would afford one a divine solution. But as for every experience, yours or mine, we are the creators of necessity in thought and word and deed, you see. Never an element of chance, not for you or for me, because we project the causes, the effects become necessary. We create action, circumstance, and destiny. And now we know exactly what to expect through the universal law of cause and effect. But during the times when something negative would happen to us, our burden seemed so heavy, and oh, how unjust. We cursed and we cried, how could this happen to us? But the seeming negative thing was a lesson and a message too that could be highly beneficial to me and to you. The lesson and the message were like a door mark pull, but our head was so hard and we were stubborn as a bull. For there we were pushing on a door mark pull. What are we doing? No wonder all the strife. Let us pass through the door of experience and it will serve us in life. So we open up the door, we stand tall and we face it. Our cup is somewhat bitter, but we receptively embrace it. It's a very wise decision, for we cannot escape it. Yes, this effect was reaped from a cause we did so. And now is simply the time to pay the debt that we owe. So with calm assurance, we now walk through the door to be tormented by this experience no more. For the lesson we have learned and the message we did hear it, oh, how it expanded our mind and quickened our spirit. Yes, that circumstance was no element of chance. We were only receiving our own, and that's why we embraced it. Behold, the things of greater brilliance on the other side of the door that now dutifully and gracefully fulfill and replace it. To think we foolishly thought it was a disadvantage, what a blessing to realize that every seeming negative thing must always have an equal positive advantage. And now that all negative thoughts have been divinely released, our countenance is filled with that heavenly peace, a peace firm in the supreme spirit of eternal standing. I mean that unshakable peace that passeth understanding. And now whatever our fate, let us not be disturbed. It did not happen to hurt us, but to humbly serve. Despite the seeming pain and apparent distress, all situations are to uplift our consciousness. And now we deny the influence of anything distressing, for there is a lesson that is teaching and a message wisely expressing to please study us closely, for we are really a blessing. And now the knowledge has been bestowed upon you and upon me that whatever comes into being is born of necessity. No more will we be caught in the web of cyclicity. We're now empowered by the dance of cause and effect, the universal law of necessity. Thank you for awakening, beloved. Thank you for embracing your magnificence. Thank you for knowing that you make a monumental difference in the expansion of life, that life is better by virtue of you. Thank you for knowing that you are an unduplicatable blessing and gift unto Creator Source. Thank you for knowing that Creator Source is over the moon by virtue of the gift of the individualization of your being is. You are a gift unto Creator Source. You are a gift unto every other being in the family of life. You are a gift unto the resonance of your immortality unfolding down the corridors of forever. You are a gift unto the eternal remembrance of the safety and sacredness and immunity of your being, even now in the state of our world. Thank you for aligning with me in deliberate intention that our world is now elevating in redemption, that we can look larger than the negatives that exist within the world. We can reach forward into the pre-memoration of the future times when the world is in its greatest ascension and exaltation, because every time is now. And so we pre-memorate the exaltation of our earth. We pre-memorate the exaltation of our individual being. We bring it into the now memoration of this now moment. We remember who we are. And as we are intending this benevolence of our earth, we are intending it with the intending power of God, Goddess Absolute, the intending power of every angel and ascended master, the intending power of every galactic society that is evolved beyond where we are on our earth here and now. We open to the wisdom of the Pleiadians and the Arcturians and the Syrians and the Lyrans and all of the elevated and evolved societies of the universe. We open and receive the benevolent frequencies and the wisdom of our elder brothers and sisters in the cosmos. We receive the blessing poured out upon this, our earth, for the elevation of the frequency of our earth and the redemption of our earth. With all of that being said, let me now offer some frequency of the didgeridoo to further activate this transmission. goddess. Hey. Y'all mama. Y'all mine. Love the didgeridoo. Give my heart and my soul something new to thrive about. Oh, let me see. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be doing a lot of interaction. I just want to let you beloveds know I love you so much and I thank you. I'm just so sacredly drunk right now. So I usually do some interacting in the chat, but this time I'm going to just receive the love that you have placed there in the chat from me and know that you are receiving the love of my transmission. And so ride the wings of the power available in 2022. Decode and milk the miracle of 2022. I am Astarius Miraculii. I love you so much. My website is astarius.com. ASTARIUS.com. Great number of musical albums I have there and a couple of books. I am available for intuitive astrological readings, as well as sound healing transmissions with didgeridoo and vocal harmonics and Reiki. I also teach Reiki. I am in Atlanta now. If you're in the Atlanta area, you're welcome to have an in-person session. But the 80 to 85% of my work is virtual from all over. I have a national and international following. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you're feeling drawn to do some work with me, it would be an honor to serve your expansion and your empowerment. Oh my God, I'm so sacredly drunk right now. Oh my goddess. Oh, wow. Let me see if I can squeak out a connection here. Let's see. I got some light in my face here that aiming right at the chat here. Let's see if I can do it a little differently, that I might be able to see a little better without that light right in my face. Aziza, vibing high, gratefulness, grateful for you, beloved, also. And Illuminati, Illuminati, yes, and yes to you. And Scottish Dolly says thank you. And thank you, beloved. I received your energy. Welp, I'm here now. Yeah, you are, beloved. You're definitely there now. Thank you, Astarius. I feel so loved by your words and being. Okay. And the others too, in the best of my capabilities, love and light to you and everyone here. What I also want you, beloveds, to know is that sometimes when I get so exalted in spirit, my intellectual mind is not working as well. Sometimes I have to really focus in order to just read because I'm so exalted in that place of spirit. Love you so much. Love you too. Brilliant, yes, and you're brilliant too, beloved. Beautiful. Floating feather, thank you, Astarius. Prophet prolific. Hello, all. Grateful to catch the tall and this blessing. Okay, I'm going to let go of attempting to continue reading because I'm just too exalted in that place of spirit to do it right now. So I am so grateful for you, beloveds. I really appreciate love you for who you are and where you live in your being and the greatest exaltation of your being. And I champion you and I receive your championing me And I align with the deliberate intention that we champion our world, and we will escort our world into greater exaltation. Aho Ashe Amen Namaste. Hotepin Lakesha Lakin Shalom. Satnam Hariom Rastafari. Our sacred juices are cooked in infinitely expanding Juicefari, Blissfari. We're going to always have many miles on our smile and the wiggle in our giggle, tingling in our boost, laughter ever after, put in our strut, wings on our butt, always rising up. Up at the top, there's room for all. It's just the bottom that's crowded, y'all. And so it is. And so it shall eternally be. I love you with the passion of heaven. Oh my goddess.